afternoon. I'm the new sheriff here in town, Sheriff Cassidy, and I'm here to make sure there's no trouble. Now, speaking of trouble, as you can see, we're here in a real Wild West saloon, and as we all know, things can get a little rough and tumble out in saloons. There may be some breaking of bottles here during our show, so just be aware of that. Just know that it's not actually real glass, you won't be hurt, but you may want to stay a little bit ways back. Now, let's get down to business. Have y'all seen this man? His name is Wild Wayne, and he's been causing mischief all throughout the Wild West, and I'm on a mission to stop him. Are y'all ready to help me? Yeah? Now, it's very important that I catch him right away before he causes any trouble, so please point him out as soon as you see him. Have y'all seen him anywhere? Oh, Wild Wayne doesn't wear a bandana over his mouth. Excuse me, sir. Have you seen this man?
You know, I can't say that I have. Very handsome fellow, mind you. I can't say that I have seen him. This town seems real quiet and real safe.
For the most part it is, but I want to be ready for when he comes to town. You can bet I'm going to be the one that locks him up for good.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with that, sir. I really do.
Yeah, you heard it here, folks. Sheriff Cassidy here is going to be the one to finally put an end to Wild Wayne for good. Never to cause trouble around these parts again.
Well, you go and you get him and you teach him to respect his elders and that crime doesn't pay.
I can't believe y'all. Y'all were really gonna sell me out like that. And here I thought you'd be on my side. You look like a bunch of outlaws. But don't you worry. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve for Mr. Sheriff there. Ain't no way Wild Wayne's gonna stay locked up for good. Just you wait.
Now, Sheriff, I know you're new to the job and all, but how exactly do you plan on catching that outlaw?
Yeah, Sheriff, Wild Wayne is only the biggest criminal around these parts. I've heard he's tall and strong and witty and clever and...
Seriously?
What? That's what I've heard.
We don't mean to be rude, Sheriff. It's just hard to believe that anyone's gonna get that man behind bars and get that man to stay put. So many have tried and so many have failed.
Yes, but none of them were me. Now, I don't mean to brag, but I'm pretty witty and clever too. I'm prepared for any of these tricks I've heard he has. Ain't no way Wild Wayne's pulling a fast one on me. I've got a plan to keep him locked up in that jail with me for a real long time.
He does have a lot of them, and he's managed to escape from every other sheriff around. You sure seem pretty confident that you're gonna get him. I'm just not so sure.
Really, Betsy, you ought to keep your mouth shut. You're going to get yourself into trouble. If I didn't know any better, I think you're on Wild Wayne's side. Or she just fancies outlaws.
All right, Annie, what do you know of Wild Wayne?
Yeah, Miss Annie, you seem to know everything about everyone. Have any useful pieces of information about our favorite outlaw?
Well, you see, Sheriff, Betsy here wasn't far off her description. May it be a little biased. He is clever and smarter than you think by the looks of him. Normally, he works alone, but word on the street is he's got a new sidekick that no one knows nothing about. People have seen him dragging some short person around with him. But you didn't hear that from me.
Well, thank you, Miss Annie. That is just the information I needed. I better get going.
Now, girls, let's see how this one plays out. You two, it's gonna be a wild ride.
Miss, hey, I can't think you enough to let me follow you around. I promise you, I'm gonna be the best sidekick any outlaw's ever seen.
How many times have I told you it's just Wayne to you? No Mr., no Wild, just Wayne. Save that stuff for when it really matters.
Right, Mr. Wild. Wayne. I got it.
It's all right. Now, may we please proceed with our training today?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, remember, the most important thing about being an outlaw is...
You gotta have a good entrance.
Yeah.
Because no one was ever threatened by a mediocre one.
That's right.
And I think I got a good one for you.
Oh, yeah?
Saloon doors
Let me
right
see
here.
it, let me see it.
Imagine it. All right. Kick! All right, everybody, freeze. This is a stick up. You'll get stick up. See, they got it. They got it.
Seriously, Joan.
No, to tell you the truth, I don't have a good entrance. I couldn't think of one, so I compensated with humor. Helps me sleep easy at night.
Well, then you'll be sleeping easy in a jail cell.
Right.
Now, you remember the second thing I told you I wanted to teach you today?
Oh, dang it! I forgot my colored pencils.
For what?
The second thing, how to draw.
Oh, you're kidding me. That's not what I meant by draw. Crumb ain't no art class. This is gonna be harder than I thought. Remind me why I took you on as a sidekick again.
My charm.
Whatever you want to believe. Now, I could keep doing what I've been doing by myself for years, but I took you on as a sidekick because there's power in numbers. We could do some great things now that there's two of us, but you got to get some sense first.
Oh, I've got sense, Wayne. In
All right.
fact, I think I got 10 cents right here if I can find it.
You're unbelievable.
Oh, thank you.
Moving on. Now, you know this town pretty well, right?
Oh, like the back of my hand on a Tuesday night.
Okay, why Tuesday night?
Oh, well, they change every day from all the dirt I do and stuff, but I always had barbecue on Tuesday nights.
All right, there it is. All right, thank you. I'm done. Have a nice night, ma'am.
Oh, wait up, Wayne. I promised you I could be the best outlaw anybody's ever seen. Except for yourself, of course. We could make a great team. Joan and Wayne. Oh, Joan Wayne. Y'all get it like John Wayne and Joan Wayne? See, they get it.
Don't encourage her. Oh, fine, but only because I need you for this one. Now, we're going into territory you know better than I do, so here's the deal. You show me around, you get me where I need to go, you give me the stick, and you keep your mouth shut, all right?
Anything for you, Mr. Wayne.
All right, now remember the plan.
Oh, Joe. What do you know?
Oh, Miss Annie, I know the whole plan, but I can't tell you all of it, or else it'd be too obvious if you knew too. But don't worry, I'll get him where he needs to be when you need him.
Sheriff Cassidy is so confident he's gonna catch him, and catch him for good. He knows nothing about you or our plan.
Don't worry, Miss Annie, we'll get him locked up. And if Sheriff Cassidy wants to believe that it was all his doing, so be it. I'll just be glad to have Wild Wayne out of business.
Swap these from the jailhouse just in case you need them. Sheriff Cassidy is clever, but I'm not sure he's quick as he needs to be.
All right, folks, you keep this little secret just between us, okay? Has Annie heard anything about Wild Wayne? Miss Annie knows everything about everyone, so...
Now, girls, I've been hearing some rumors that Wild Wayne is headed our way. But you didn't.
Oh, no!
Now, Annie, where'd you get all this information from? What if you're wrong? Trust me, girls. I'm never wrong.
I've always wanted to do that. Now, Miss Annie, what's this I hear about Wild Wayne coming to town?
Oh, I heard he's headed our way next. He and his sidekick, that is.
Well, if you see him before I do, which is unlikely, seeing as I'm vigilantly waiting their arrival, you tell him there's no way he's using one of his get-out-of-jail-free cards on me. You see, I've concocted an elaborate plan for keeping Wild Wayne locked up in jail for good this time. It would be far too complicated to explain to you in a reasonable amount of time, but just know that Sheriff Cassidy here is the best in the West.
Man, that never gets old.
Wild Wayne! Sheriff, why don't you tell him all about yourself?
What's the matter with her?
Loves you, me too, big fan, definitely don't talk bad about you behind your back. I'll let you sit down for a moment. Pull me up here, carry on.
Flattered. Thank you, ma'am. I hear you've been looking for me, Cassidy.
Indeed I have, Mr. Wayne.
To you, Mr. Sheriff.
So she's the sidekick everyone's been raving about?
That's right.
Oh, Wayne. To tell you the truth, I thought she'd be more intimidating.
Intimidating, I'll show you intimidating. You don't need to be 6'2" to be
Here we go.
intimidating. You can fly too, you can be intimidating. You don't need to be tall. I'll have you know,
All right,
Sheriff,
now, Joan, what have I told you about keeping your mouth shut? And I'll have you know that she is the best sidekick any outlaw has ever seen. And you should be scared, because we are going to take this town from you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it.
Come on, Sheriff, do something.
All right.
At least I'm not done. Oh, take that. Oh, hey, yes, oh, like that. There you go. Yeah. All right. Sit back in here. Yeah, take that. Where'd he go? Oh, no. Ow, here we go. Take that. Yes. Oh, I'm not finished with you yet, man. Come here. Oh, that stinks. Oh, she's a big fan of yours there.
Will you two stop dancing?
Now, let that be a lesson for all of you. When Sheriff Cassidy here is on the job, no one comes to my town and causes any trouble. Sheriff! Miss Annie, what's the matter?
What's the matter, Sheriff? Is that all you got?
I won't give up. I thought it'd be easy. Taking down an outlaw like you.
Well, that's where you went wrong, Sheriff. There is no outlaw like me.
And there ain't any sidekick like me.
What? What is the meaning of this?
You see, Mr. Wayne, you were right. I am the best sidekick any outlaw's ever seen. I'm just not your sidekick.
You see, Wayne, when I heard you were headed to our town next, I contacted my cousin Joan here, and no one knows her around these parts, and she's just about as witty as you are. So, I asked her to get on your good side and play dumb for a little while, just until you made it here. And I knew Sheriff Cassidy here was a good lawman, but didn't think you were good enough for the job.
Well, now, Miss Annie, I really don't appreciate
Sheriff,
these.
I wasn't done.
Wow.
Now, Mr. Wayne, you are pretty clever. So we had to come up with something to outsmart you without anyone else knowing about it. And I think it worked out all right. I think so, too.
Well, that's where you're wrong, Miss Annie. Wild Wayne's been locked up before, but he ain't never stayed too long.
Oh, and that's where you're wrong, Mr. Wayne.
I'll take it from here, ladies. I've been concocting my master plan for keeping you locked up in jail for good this time, Wayne.
What have you been working on, Sheriff Cassidy?
Oh, well, you see, my friends over here in the audience have graciously agreed to keep an eye on Wild Wayne for the entirety of his 15-year prison sentence, night and day, until he's been rehabilitated and can be released to the general public. Isn't that right, Wayne? Wayne? Oh, Wild Wayne's done it again. Thank y'all for coming to our Southwest Showdown. Feel free to come on up and take some pictures with us if you'd like to. Don't forget to ride my favorite riding car, Raging Bull. And come on back soon to say hello to my friend Max. Max Force, that is. Thank y'all, and have a Six Flags day.